We all know the obvious about staying away from pastries and soda and Cheez-Its and Gushers, but what should we really be avoiding that we aren't aware of? Today I want to talk about the top worst foods that you want to stay away from, especially as your body shifts into perimenopause and menopause. Definitely stay until the end because I am saving for last one of the most surprising foods that I think people don't realize can really mess with your metabolism and your hormones. May here, functional medicine practitioner, nerdy dietitian, and personal health detective. I love helping busy people look and feel their best in their 40s, 50s, and beyond. If you haven't already, definitely download my must-have food guide for feeling your best if you want to get started on this nourishing journey. One of the worst foods to eat that oftentimes is masqueraded as being healthy are acai bowls. So many people love eating acai bowls, including some of my clients. It's not just the granola, which is an offender when it comes to carbs and sugar, and it's not just the layers of fruit, but it's actually the acai part itself. A lot of times the mix that they use to make that base has added sugar. A better option is to do a plain acai packet at home, make it into a smoothie, and do some light berries on top and maybe some nuts, but stay away from all the added carbs because it's already got a carby base. Comment below if you've ever fallen into the trap of buying an acai bowl only to realize it was over 700 calories and over 30 grams of sugar. It's okay to admit your mistakes, and we're all learning from our mistakes. The number 2 worst food to eat during perimenopause and menopause are matcha lattes. Now, I'm not talking about the ones you make at home from scratch. I'm talking about the pre-made mixes that they make at coffee shops or you can buy at the store in a can. These things are chock full of sugar. Matcha is fantastic for you, but not when you've added all the sugar to it. So again, if you love matcha lattes, make them at home with an unsweetened milk. If you need to make it sweet, you can add something like allulose. The third worst food to eat during perimenopause and menopause is conventional butter and dairy products, especially cheese. Remember that dairy is the breast milk of a cow. Everything we eat, including toxins and pesticides, get passed into breast milk to our baby. In fact, BPA stays in the body for a lifetime, but the one time women detox BPA is when we're breastfeeding. That's a scary thought, but it also applies to animals as well. So when you buy cheese or butter, you are buying the fatty part of breast milk of a cow. And fat is where toxins are stored. So on top of pesticide exposure, there's things like PCBs in conventional butter and cheese, and that just messes with our hormones big time. So if you need to eat dairy, get the highest quality possible. Definitely make sure it's organic and grass-fed. And when you're eating out, try to avoid the butter and cheeses that you know are conventionally raised. If you're trying to stay away from dairy altogether, which some people actually do need to do, I want to give you some alternatives. Number 1, nutritional yeast is a fun topping that adds a lot of cheesy flavor to things like pizza, or you can even blend it up with raw cashews and make a cashew cheesy cream sauce. The other thing, you can find cashew-based butter. If you're going to eat butter, you can also switch over to something called ghee, which is clarified butter. The 4th worst food for perimenopause and menopause is carbonated waters that are in aluminum cans. This has been a popular trend for a long time, and it wasn't until I started working with a client who had really high BPA levels in her blood that I realized, oh yeah, cans have BPA, which is a lining to help with corrosion, and sparkling water is more on the acidic side. When you're drinking those, you're getting some aluminum possibly, but you're also getting some BPA, and BPA is a xenoestrogen, which means it mimics estrogen in the body and can really mess with hormones. So we want to avoid BPA at all costs, and if you're a fan of those sparkling waters in cans, my biggest advice is to switch over to the glass bottle version or get yourself a soda stream and flavor your own sparkling water. My favorite is actually sparkling water with magnesium powder. It fizzes like a volcano, but it's super yummy. I also really enjoy sparkling water with just some lemon or lime. You can do a lot of fun stuff and avoid those cans altogether. This is the one that you've been waiting for. The last and final food that is really bad for you in perimenopause and menopause is actually burned, charred meats and vegetables. I know summer's around the corner and a lot of us are going to be doing barbecuing or going to barbecues. If you are a huge fan of barbecue, my biggest advice to you is try not to burn your meat and vegetables. And if you see any visible charred areas, cut them off. I am that person at the restaurant at the Mediterranean place who ordered the skewers of vegetables and I'm sitting there cutting off all the charred parts. The reason why charred meat and charred vegetables are so bad for you is two compounds get formed in this burning process. One is a type of carcinogen called heterocyclic amines. The other one is polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, which can make you detox estrogen to the worst form of estrogen, which is setting you up for higher risk of cancer related to estrogen. So at the end of the day, we don't need anything charred or burned. If you want to learn how to customize your diet even more than what we've talked about today, definitely sign up for a strategy call and see if and how I might be able to help. So just to recap, the 5 worst foods for perimenopause and menopause. Number 1 is going to be acai bowls, mostly because of the hidden sugars and the carbs. Number 2 is matcha lattes. Again, hidden sugars, big time. Number 3, conventional butter and cheese, because a lot of the toxins in the breast milk of a cow live in the fatty part of that breast milk. Number 4 is going to be your sparkling water in aluminum cans. Again, look for the alternative so you don't expose yourself to aluminum and BPA. And last but not least, avoid, if you can, any kind of charred meats and vegetables because they can increase your risk for cancer. We all have room for improvement, and so think about this as a way to elevate and upgrade your food choices. Again, no judgment, no shame, no guilt. We're just all learning together. I'm so excited to share more information with you as the weeks go by. Check out my other videos in the meantime and make sure to give it a like and subscribe. See you soon.